Deuces. Peace to you guys. J.E.S.U.S. J, with the joy it brings. E, eternal. S, Savior. U, as in you. S, as in yes. Deuces, the true Superman. You know what I'm saying? Jesus Christ. And we're part of his body. I'm going to give a shout out to Jesus before I get further into this boxing. So, you know, I've been talking boxing all day. Y'all got a whole set of videos from me. All day. All day, all day, all day. There's many songs. But I want to sing a song that you guys might know. What a friend we have in Jesus. All our sins and griefs to bear. What a privilege to carry everything to God in prayer. Oh, what peace we often forfeit. Oh, what needless pains we bear. All because we do not carry everything to go in prayer. Have we trials and temptations? Is there trouble everywhere? We should never be discouraged. Take it to the Lord in prayer. Can we find a friend so faithful who will all our sorrow share? Jesus knows our every weakness. Take it to the Lord in prayer. Are we weak and heavy laden, cumbered with a load of care? Precious Savior, still a refuge. Take it to the Lord in prayer. Do your friends forsake, despise thee? Take it to the Lord in prayer. In his arms he'll take and shield you. You will find solace there. Jesus, man. Jesus. I had to sing it, man. So, on The Boxing Voice, we had this conversation between, you know, Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury. Then we had this discussion on whether Errol Spence was ducking Terrence Crawford. You know, that, you know, Al Heyman was keeping that fight from happening. It was ironic that these people would think that when it's really Bob Arum who'll be riding the Al Heyman fighters on PVC. And it's interesting hearing people say, we want to see the Errol Spence versus Crawford fight. I'm like, dude, Errol Spence got Sean Porter, Keith Thurman, Danny Garcia, Adrian Broner, all right, Jesse Vargas, all right. I mean, he got names. He don't have to go all the way across the pond. Top Rank. Who Top Rank don't look like they're interested in fighting nobody else but their Top Rank fighters. Why? Because the promoter Bob Arum wants to keep all the money. He don't want to split the money. He don't want to share the money. Plus, Terrence Crawford's on ESPN. How are we gonna work that out? Right? ESPN is exclusively towards Top Rank and their fighters. Bob Arum, that's a hard fight to make. This is common sense. So why would I stay in the PBC and fight all the PBC fighters I can fight? Plus, he got Mikey Garcia. Mikey Garcia was calling out Errol Spence. So he gets to fight Mikey Garcia. Probably Sean Porter afterwards. Then Keith Thurman. And we don't know if he's going to win those fights, right? If he gets past those guys, then he's now this unified champion. I mean, he don't need a WBO title, but I mean, Terrence Crawford really serious about fighting Errol Spence. If he wants to fight Errol Spence, and Errol Spence went down into Terrence Crawford's territory. He went down to see an ESPN fight where Terrence Crawford, somebody ESPN fighters were fighting. You know, Errol Spence showed up in Terrence Crawford's territory. Terrence Crawford didn't show up in Errol Spence's territory. Errol Spence came to see if he could make the fight with Terrence. Terrence was shouting and making all that noise, talking all that talk. So Errol came down to see if he was serious. And in front of Bob, he was talking to Terrence. I was like, make the fight happen then. All right? So, I mean, and Errol Spence is like, man down. You won't get man down when you face me. You too small. You know, and Terrence was all work up, and you see him pumping his fist and doing as if he could fight. We all know Terrence ain't ready for Errol Spence. He's not ready for that. Errol Spence fought Kell Brook, the best in the division. Beat him. Right? Who has Terrence Crawford fought at 147? Come on, people. Talk to me. This is a discussion. Who has Errol Spence fought? Terrence Crawford fought at 140. Terrence Crawford has fought Kell Brook and Lamont Peterson. I would love to see Terrence Crawford fight Lamont Peterson. I would love to see Terrence Crawford fight Danny Garcia. But who is he fighting? Louis Collazo. He's fighting Louis Collazo. Well, let's see how he does it against Louis Collazo. Let's see if he can do something with Louis Collazo. Louis Collazo is an Al Heyman fighter. So he gets an easy fight. It's supposed to be an easy fight. He's supposed to dispatch Louis Collazo, you know, real quick, right? Keith Thurman disposed of him in 7 rounds. Let's see what he can do with Louis Collazo. You know what I'm saying? The Al Heyman fighter. Collazo said, yeah, I'm going to fight Errol Spence. I would love to see him face Jesse Vargas. He hasn't faced Jesse Vargas. Jesse Vargas is with Top Rank, if I'm not mistaken. Or maybe the DAZN. I think he's on the DAZN now. Jesse Vargas faced Adrian Broner. I would love to see him face Adrian Broner. I would love to see him face, Andre Berto. That'd be a nice little test. See him face Andre Berto. He ain't ready for a Sean Porter. He's not ready for an Errol Spence. He's not ready for a Danny Garcia. He's not ready for those guys. He's not ready for Keith Thurman. He's not ready for those boys. You know how I know that? It's real simple. Danny Garcia's fought some people at super lightweight. Some real names at super lightweight. Lucas Matisse, Eric Morales, Amir Khan. While Amir Khan was hot. Okay. So Danny Garcia fought Zab Judah. Who has Terrence Crawford face? That's a name that he could say he beat at 140. Nobody. Nobody. All of those guys were undefeated champions, but they ain't got no experience. Plus, some of them are slow as hell. Danny Garcia fought fast fighters. He's fought small fighters. He's fought big fighters. Danny Garcia fought Paulie Malignaggi, former world champions. Who has Terrence Crawford fought to become pound for pound #1 in the world? You see, you guys not serious, man. As my boy Roger Mayweather would say, who he fought, who he beat. He ain't fought nobody at super lightweight. If you being real, Danny Garcia fought some real killers. Terrence Crawford ain't fought nobody. He ain't fought no proven fighters at 140. He undisputed, but what that mean? Who he fought? He was undisputed. That's a good accomplishment, but who he fought? You know what I'm saying? And that's what people miss. They miss the point of these things. He's going up to 147. Who is he fought? Mauricio Herrera beat the guy that he fought and that he stopped in the 12th round. Mauricio Herrera beat him. But Jose Benavidez got the benefit of the doubt. We all know Mauricio Herrera was robbed. We all know that. Mauricio Herrera had no respect for Jose Benavidez. None. Walking right through him. Okay? It took Terrence Crawford 12 rounds to dispatch that dude. That Mauricio Herrera had no respect for him. That's what Mikey Garcia was looking at. Terrence ain't proving nothing to me. He not really a threat to 140. So Terrence Crawford can take his time, just like Timothy Bradley, stay in his corner, because we all know at the end of the day, Terrence Crawford ain't want to fight none of them boys. That's why he re-signed with Bob Arum. Bob Arum is gonna keep him safe. He can have all that reputation and name as the pound for pound #1 without fighting nobody at welterweight. This is what's gonna go on. They're gonna say, oh, he was ducked by most of the welterweights. That's what they're gonna say. That's what they're gonna say. We know how it is. We know the game. They did it with Manny Pacquiao and Floyd. Oh, Floyd's the one ducking Manny Pacquiao. Yeah, for 7 years, Floyd been trying, making offers to Pacquiao. Why Floyd making offers to Pacquiao? If Deontay Wilder be making offers to Anthony Joshua, we know the game. We know the game. We know when a fighter don't want to fight. They want to ride off your coattails. They want to ride off your name. Pacquiao been riding off of Floyd's name. Okay, for 7 years. Because Arum, when they should have made that fight in 2010, Pacquiao ends up fighting Joshua Clottey for less money just because he won't take no drug test. Now he's taking drug tests. Come on, man. Freddie Roach even admitted he was wrong. So we don't want to go there with Bob Arum. Bob Arum doesn't want to make deals with his fighters. He want to protect his fighters. I remember Bob Arum wanted saying how Floyd should fight Antonio Margarito. Why would Floyd fight Antonio Margarito? What does Antonio Margarito have? Antonio Margarito had no, if I remember correctly, he had no title or nothing. I think he had a WBO title or something like that. Some out of the way title. You know what I'm saying? When you got Carlos Baldomir, the WBC world champion who just beats Ab Judah, why would Floyd go fight a lesser opponent? And Antonio Margarito, he beat him easy, and then what? What does that prove? You know, and it's these kinds of things that we got to deal with. You know, these are the kinds of things. Arum goes circulating that Floyd's afraid of Antonio Margarito, knowing full well Floyd's bought out his contract, is his own boss, and is trying to fight Oscar De La Hoya. Why didn't he talk about that? Floyd ends up fighting Oscar De La Hoya at 154. Much better fighter than Antonio Margarito. So why all of a sudden Floyd fights Oscar, which is what he wanted to fight anyway. He gets the fight he wanted to fight. He fights Oscar, beats Oscar, but he gonna have problems with Antonio Margarito. Make this make sense. Plus, Antonio Margarito was using loaded gloves. We later found out he was a cheater. All right? But be that as it may, Floyd was going to whoop him easy. Easy. Margarito gets hit like nobody's business. Floyd ain't got no problem with stamina. He would fight you all the way through. Margarito, where's Margarito going to land a shot on Floyd? When he's going to land a shot on Floyd? Floyd ain't no Roy Jones Jr., man. So that's what we had to deal with. We had to deal with all of these nonsense from Bob Arum. Now Bob Arum and ESPN are pushing this stupid head again. They're pushing nonsense. Boxing now, it's a dirty game. Certain people play dirty. HBO was playing dirty. Look how they pulled up ESPN and HBO, how they pull up, you know, and make it Floyd look like he's some domestic abuser. Then they started painting the picture that he was the one that HBO that's out of business now, out of the boxing business. Try to dirty Floyd, just nasty. They try to do some nasty things. It backfired because Floyd beat Pacquiao easy. Because you got dirty people on there, racist people and dirty people who said, this black fella, this black monkey, he's not supposed to do well. He shouldn't be able to dictate terms. But Floyd's taking over boxing now. Mayweather Promotions is doing a lot of promotions for PBC. As part of the major promotional companies, including Lou DiBella, and even Eddie Hearn's company is working with the PBC, as well as they're working with the Zone. Okay. And all I'm saying is, all this hate for Al Heyman, you know, because he's a black man, is stupid. It's stupid. Spence ain't ducking Crawford. If anything, Crawford's being protected from Spence. Crawford ain't ready for Spence. And we all know Crawford ain't ready for Spence. How do we know this? Because he ain't faced nobody at the welterweight level that makes him ready for an opponent like Spence. All right, he may have faced good opponents, and his best opponent, like I said before, was Yuriorkis Gamboa, who was smaller than him. Crawford's been hyped up a little too much. He has skills and abilities, but he has not faced competition to prove to us that his skills and abilities are on par. And let me remind you guys that all the top welterweights out there, Crawford got a title, but from who? Jeff Horn? Like, really? Like, Jeff Horn is who? Who is Jeff Horn? What has Jeff Horn accomplished? What is the history of Jeff Horn? I want to show you guys exactly what I mean, because I'm tired of this. I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you. I'm not going to talk. I'm going to show you. I'm going to go up on box track. I'm going to show you all the champions, okay? Got Sean Porter right here. Terrence Crawford. Hold on a second. I'm getting them all. I'm tired of this. I got to include Danny Garcia because he was a former world champion. All right? That's the guy that Terrence Crawford should be facing, Danny Garcia. Because they were in the same weight class. Danny Garcia was a unified champion, and Terrence Crawford was undisputed. That's the guy Terrence Crawford should be facing. Not Errol Spence. Stupid, man. All right, I'm setting it up. Keith Thurman. Keith 1 Thurman. I'm tired of hearing this Terrence Crawford, and he's pound for pound #1, and everybody's talking about Terrence Crawford. He ain't proven himself yet, man, at welterweight. He's not proven himself at welterweight. In fact, he hasn't proven himself since lightweight. I'm going to show you guys what I'm talking about, because a lot of people don't understand what I mean and what I'm talking about. So, what am I missing out here? Okay, I want to show you guys. Hold on a second. All right, there you go. I think it's ridiculous when you overhype a fighter. And this seems to be happening once Bob Arum is involved. People just end up overhyping people. And it's ridiculous, man. It's ridiculous. Pooh B. Sistrong says all these racist people need to stop because we come from North Africa. All of us. Yes, that's true. True. The Horn of Africa. That's true, my brother. Well said. Okay. Let me show you guys what I'm talking about. I want to show you guys what I'm talking about. Thank you, by the way, guys, for coming through. Shout out to all of you for coming through and watching this little video here on boxing. All right, so when you watch the welterweight division, we got the top of the top. Little champions are Sean Porter, Keith Thurman, Manny Pacquiao. I forgot Manny Pacquiao. Hold on a second, man. I got to get Manny Pacquiao up in there. Errol Spence Jr., Terrence Crawford, okay? Plus, you got to include Danny Garcia. And I didn't even include Jesse Vargas. I might include Andre Berto and Amir Khan, okay? I might even include Adrian Broner. But I just want to talk about these guys. Sean Porter, Keith Thurman. I got to include Manny Pacquiao, who's a regular champion. Hold on a second. I don't have a Manny Pacquiao up in here. Let me just put him up. It's Manny Pacquiao, all right? All right, so These are all the champions. Now, here's the thing. Look at this. Sean Porter, okay? Look how qualified Sean Porter is. He fought Danny Garcia, who was the WBC World Welterweight Champion before Keith Thurman beat him and took it, all right? Then he's also fought Keith Thurman. That's two of the world champions out there, right? Faced Adrian Broner, who was the WBA world champion, okay? And he also faced Kell Brook, who was the #1 welterweight in the world, former world champion Paulie Malignaggi, and world champion Devin Alexander. Look at the experience at welterweight, man. Look at this guy's experience at welterweight. Not to mention, he fought former world champion Julio Diaz twice. And Alfonso Gomez was not a world champion. Okay. So what I'm saying is, look at the and let's not forget also he faced top Adrian Granados, who was a spoiler, who stopped the 140-pounder, promising 140-pounder prospect, and has fought a number of guys who went on to become world champions. Tough competition. Okay, this is what Sean Porter has faced so far. The only world champion Sean Porter has not faced on PBC is Errol Spence. That's the only guy he hasn't faced yet. Okay, and he cleaned up shop when it comes to that. And then he got across the pond to go to Terrence Crawford, who is not ready for Sean Porter. He's not ready for Sean Porter. He's not ready for Sean Porter. Just not. Okay, I'll show you some more. We have Terrence Crawford. Now I want to show you guys something, man. All right, let's just look at welterweight first. Jeff Horn is the guy he faced. Jeff Horn was not world champion for very long. And just so you guys get the point, let me go back to Sean Porter for a minute. All right. I want to show you the kind and caliber of guys Sean Porter faced. Danny Garcia, former WBC World Welterweight Champion, former WBC WBA Unified Super Lightweight World Champion for a long time. This guy been world champion in 2 divisions and a 3-time world champion and a long-reigning champion at Super Lightweight. He was the man at Super Lightweight, the #1 Super Lightweight in the world. That's who Sean Porter faced. Then he faced Keith Thurman, the #1 welterweight in the world at the time, who had faced a number of opponents, including Robert Guerrero. All right. And before he faced Sean Porter, he faced Danny Garcia. Okay. He also faced Kell Brook, who was the #1 welterweight. No, he wasn't the #1. Sorry, he was the contender. He turned out to be the #1 welterweight in the world. Okay. He faced former welterweight WBA champion Paulie Malignaggi, and he beat IBF world champion Devin Alexander, who was world champion for quite a while and was really doing well, reigning as world champion. Now that's the kind of competition he faced. Not some guy who just came overnight, won the championship, and never even defended. All of these guys defended their titles. And Paulie Malignaggi is a 2-time, 3-time world champion. I think it is. Okay, went overseas and beat a guy called Shevchenko and took the title from him. Okay, so that's who Sean Porter faced. You got to understand, Mr. Terrence Crawford has not faced that level of competition except for 2 people. At welterweight, he didn't do that. Did never see Jeff Horn, 1-time world champion, pulling off an upset. After that, he doesn't even defend his title. He faces Terrence Crawford, gets annihilated. Okay? Jose Benavidez has never been a world champion. Like I said before, was defeated by Mauricio Herrera. Julius Ndongo recently became world champion, winning 2 titles by beating both. He beat the Russian guy, and then he went on to beat his name. He'll be around here somewhere at lightweight. Ricky Burns. All right, he beat Ricky Burns to get the 2nd title. Okay, Terrence had the other 2. Okay, Felix Diaz, very good fighter, but not world champion. Never been world champion. John Molina, let's just forget him. Victor Posol was world champion after he beat Lucas Matisse, but after that, he ain't do nothing. He never defended his title. You know what I'm saying? Yes? Yes, Mom? Hello? Oh. All right. Hank Lundy, who? Derijan, good fighter. But again, why? Thomas DeLorme, good fighter. And we know that. But not on the level of a champion. You know, Raimundo Beltran became a champion at lightweight. So at lightweight, he had his best fights. He fought Raimundo Beltran, became world champion. Euricus Gamboa, who is still fighting at lightweight, but at the time was very small for it. Great reputation and everything. But that's his best win. And Ricky Burns. Okay, the best stuff that Terrence Crawford has is two guys at lightweight. One was too small for him, and the other guy, he proved himself after lightweight. He became super lightweight champion, etc. That's it. Terrence Crawford has no real solid, seasoned, guys with a good track record facing great opposition. He has none on his resume, except for Gamboa, who's too small, and Ricky Burns. That's it. He's got nothing. He's got a bunch of nobodies. Because Top Rank shields this guy. Good fighters. He's had some good fighters, but they're not real known. But ones with reputation, who have a long standing and a long track record, he ain't got none. Danny Garcia getting that kind of stuff. This is Danny Garcia's resume. It's ridiculous. He's going to be facing tough fighting Adrian Granderos next. But he faced world champion Sean Porter. Okay? Two-time world champion now. He was the IBF world champion and then became WBC world champion. Danny Garcia in a competitive fight. Keith Thurman, who's the #1 welterweight in the world and a unified champion at the time. He beat him. It was by split decision he beat Keith Thurman. Okay? You think that's all? Nope. Knocked out Paulie Malignaggi, faced Lamont Peterson, who was a world champion at the time, a long-reigning world champion. So what I'm saying is, this is at welterweight. This is the guy's record at welterweight. We're not talking about outside of welterweight. Outside of welterweight, this is what was going down. He faced Lucas Matisse. Okay, he never became world champion. Zab Judah. What is it? Two divisional world champion. I think it's two divisional world champion. Okay. Undisputed world champion at welterweight. He faced Zab Judah at super lightweight and was able to get the decision over him. Super Judah. He faced Eric Morales, a legend in the sport of boxing. Okay. He faced Amir Khan when Amir Khan was in his prime and stopped him. Okay. He faced Kendall Holt, who was a world champion, and he beat him. He beat the legendary Nate Campbell. I want you to understand the kind of competition this brother faced, okay, who was a multiple-time world champion, okay, southpaw, okay. He never had it easy. Even when he's going up with these good fighters like Ashley Theophane, Mike Analtis, having tough fights, fighting tough. This is who Danny Garcia is. His resume is littered with great stuff. Not to talk about his super lightweight career was incredible compared to Terrence Crawford's. So when you're telling me that Terrence Crawford's pound for pound #1 in the world, what are you basing it on? His skills? Definitely not on the level of competition. You give Danny Garcia that kind of competition that Terrence Crawford had, Danny Garcia smacked them all out, knocked every last one of them out. Okay? Stop. Terrence Crawford's not ready for Danny Garcia. And Danny Garcia is a contemporary of Terrence Crawford. So I would love to see Terrence Crawford go up against Danny Garcia. That's good competition for him. Not Sean Porter. Sean Porter would destroy him. Errol Spence Jr. Even Errol Spence Jr. has got a much more legitimate career at welterweight. Yeah, okay, he's fighting Mikey Garcia, who's not a true welterweight. But he's faced Lamont Peterson and Kell Brook. Then he has some good names like Leonard Bundu, Chris Algieri, Chris Van Herden, and Samuel Vargas. That's about it, right? But the point being, Kell Brook was the #1 welterweight in the world when he fought him. And Lamont Peterson was the WBA champion at the time, which Manny Pacquiao now has. Terrence Crawford ain't fought nobody, man. Nobody. Errol Spence is still fought somebody. He ain't fought nobody. Keith Thurman. Keith Thurman is going to face Josecito Lopez, which is, that's a tune-up fight. Danny Garcia, he faced. Sean Porter. Louis Collazo, who is allegedly the guy that Terrence Crawford is going to be facing. All right? Which even Keith Thurman dispatched that dude. All right? He also faced Robert Guerrero when Robert Guerrero was something. He faced Leonard Bundu and Julio Diaz. Okay? But to be honest, the best he has faced was Sean Porter and Danny Garcia. That's the best he's faced. Nobody else, really. Now, and those guys at the time were world champions. Well, at least Danny Garcia was, not Sean Porter. So you can see he's fought some good competition also. Carlos Quintana, John Zavik, etc., 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 former world champions and stuff. But we don't count them. We're talking about welterweights, and really welterweights in their prime, the peak welterweights Keith Thurman's got. Okay? Manny Pacquiao. All right, so when it comes to Manny Pacquiao, you really don't want to go there. Face Floyd Mayweather Jr., Timothy Bradley, Juan Manuel Marquez, Miguel Cotto, Jesse. These are top guys we're talking about now. Mayweather was pound for pound the best in the world. Timothy Bradley was #2 in the world. Juan Manuel Marquez was his, top lightweight in the world, then went up to welterweight. Was nemesis of Pacquiao for a long time. Miguel Cotto was the #1 welterweight in the world when Pacquiao faced him, or #2, I think it was, because Antonio Margarito beat him. Ricky Hatton was, well, forget Ricky Hatton. And Oscar De La Hoya he wasn't anything, but he got Oscar De La Hoya at his resume. The point is, Pacquiao got plenty of experience. It's experience we're talking about. Terrence Crawford ain't got that. He's green. And he got skills and abilities, but you got to come with more than that. You gotta have experience. You got to be able to fight those fights, so you have that knowledge, that data in your head. You have to be fishing around looking for the answer. So if Terrence Crawford goes against those guys, he's not going to meet the best of those guys. You know what I'm saying? Pooh B. Sistrong says, and Man of Steel is on yay. Love. Yeah, my bro. So I'm just pointing out the obvious, that Terrence Crawford is not ready. He's not ready for those guys. And everybody's rating him up highly and all of that. But he ain't fought nobody. That's what I'm trying to tell you guys. He ain't fought nobody. You got to fight somebody. You know what I'm saying? You got to at least fight somebody to show that you're the best. You know what I mean? Or that you're ready for these other guys. So Spence ain't ducking Crawford. You kidding me? Spence has fought bigger, stronger guys than Crawford. He's fought Kell Brook. Okay? He just fought Lamont Peterson recently. He ain't worried about Crawford. Okay? I'm not saying that Crawford can't fight Spence and give him a good run for his money and even beat him. I'm not saying that, per se. But I know he needs more experience first before he could even do that. Because Mikey possibly could do it. He could pull it off. Is it likely that he will? I don't know. But he could pull it off. And I could see Crawford doing that too. But you ain't going there and trying to stop Spence. You're not talking about stopping Spence. That ain't happening. You're not stopping Spence. I can tell you that. Neither is Mikey going to stop Spence. That's not happening. You got to box Spence. If you're good enough to box him in a circle, you might beat him. But you ain't stopping him. And if Spence decides he's walking through your punches and he's coming to try and bully you, that's another story too. So I just wanted to address that and give all glory to Jesus Christ. At the same time, I got to go check out my mom. You heard me answer my mom just a minute ago. So I'm going to have to go check her out as well. Yes. And so I like to show people things because, you know, sometimes people want to argue and quarrel with me, and I'm like, no, man, that's not necessary. You know what I mean? So check me out on Pound for Pound Boxing Report tonight. If Pound for Pound Boxing Report is there, I'm going to check and see how my mom's doing. Peace to you guys. I'll be out in a minute. Have a blessed one.